So last week I started the stream by mentioning a bunch of buzzwords, and for some odd reason it actually got good SEO or whatever on the YouTube algo. So maybe I'll try it again. 3, 2, 1. Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. It is the Biendeo stream today on this fine 3rd of November 2025. I hope you're having a wonderful week, and we'll have a wonderful week ahead of you. I have felt incredibly productive this past week. I will tell you all about it, as well as also, in particular, it involves writing code for an open source repo. We're going to have a huge ramble about specifically the Windows arm of Microsoft. I think it's sort of saying what we all know, but I don't know. We'll get into it. And who knows, maybe there's some gaming stuff as well in the mix. But let's hop into today's game. Last week you've had the flu. Oh my gosh. Well, in that case, this week will be way better. But to make your week right from the beginning, do I have the gain turned up on my mic? No, I'm just too close to it. Or yelling, one of the two. Here we go. We are here with a Dreamcast title. I don't think I've played a Dreamcast title on stream yet. So, but this one has a very special place in my heart. Not necessarily because I grew up with it, but I think it ticks a lot of boxes. And I like me a good racing game. And so many racing games, particularly from this era, are either they're okay, or they are filled with licensed music, and they're an absolute pain to stream, basically, unless you turn all the game, like the in-game sound. Yeah, Project Gotham Racing 0. So this is a racing game by Bizarre Creations that we'll see their logo soonish. But yeah, you may know them for making Project Gotham Racing. The original game was a launch title on the Xbox, kind of overshadowed by a certain other game, and I've sort of mentioned that one already, but but it was a decent racing game. I liked it. I actually had played the sequel quite a fair bit, and the only thing I really have gripes about the sequel is one, the original ran at 60 FPS, and for some reason the sequel was only 30. Although I guess maybe it was interlaced. I don't know if it was interlaced or progressive, the original. And also, it has the most egregious edit on Porcupine Tree's Strip the Soul in its soundtrack. It's got a massive soundtrack, but it's got Strip the Soul, and for some odd reason, they take the chorus, and there's about 8 phrases, vocal phrases in the chorus, and they take out just the ones that I'm 3 minutes into the VOD, so I'll say the lines that say "kill them all" are just removed entirely time-wise. So the chorus just ends early every time. It's very odd. Yeah. I don't think anyone's done an upload of the soundtrack, but if you have the game, you can dump all the files, and literally all the music is just audio files. You'll be able to figure that one out. You can vet that, trust me. This game uses the real system clock, so I'm going to try my best to be on the real time for a moment, even though it says Sydney is +10, we're on daylight savings, and I don't know, none of us accounts for daylight savings. But this game, Metropolis Street Racer, came out in either 99 or 2000. I think it's 2000. So, but it's a Sega Dreamcast title. It's actually presented by Sega, as they say. There you go. I love the logo. It's so good. Rip the studio, by the way. I don't know where all the developers are going, but it's got multiplayer. It's a car racing game, but we'll get into what makes this one a bit more unique and a bit more fancy pretty soon. Keyboard is always fun. Oh wait, Blendy is the first name. And B is the surname. So I guess the nickname is Biendeo? I guess? Is that how we do it? I don't know. When you're forced to write your full name, it's like, oh my goodness, okay. But there we go, that's my full name. Yes, okay. There we go. And we'll save. There we go. But yeah, what makes this game neat is, I think, two concepts. One is how exactly. Oh, I love these like just jittery menus constantly on edge. But yeah. So also it does indeed have lap time online. It doesn't. You can't race online, but you can definitely lap time people. You can also listen to the music if you really wanted to, and there are some settings. One setting I am going to do is I'm going to change the default camera to hover. It's the furthest away, and I actually find it's kind of the easiest to work with. I'm also going to change it to kilometers because I'm Australian, I guess. The mirror, I guess you can have on, but it's only there if you're in, I guess, the bumper cam. You know how most games are at this time. We'll sort of wing with the audio as it is, just in case. You can also change some of the text messages. I don't know why you can, but sure. I think you can do that in Project Gotham Racing 1 as well, which is quite interesting. Anyways, we'll dive into the game. This game's a bit weird. You can have 3, I guess, cars in your garage, and you get a choice of 3 of them to start off with. They're going to tell you that, oh, you can't pick any others. But we got the Fiat Barchetta, the Mazda MX-5, which you can also get a Miata and a Roadster version. Is there any difference? Probably not. And an MGF. So yay, do you like convertibles? Because you're going to have convertibles. I like the MX-5. You can race, you can view an exhibition race if you really wanted to, or just drive the car around. Yeah, it's almost always okay. So not Chetta, red Barchetta. There we go. But also you have to immediately start with the color. So you gotta make sure that it's bronze, because this is the color you're gonna be seeing for the whole game. Well, not the whole game, but at least for a bit. And your goal is you have to beat a lap time, but you get an infinite number of laps. And here we go. We dive into it. But this game is pretty neat because you can sort of see right off the bat. Actually, maybe you can't. We'll dive in. We'll get into it. Maybe I'll explain it a bit more over time. But note how that is probably the real time. And for reference, none of the music is licensed. It's all by, I'm gonna botch the name, Richard Jacques, famous composer of many Sega Saturn Sonic games, which everyone loves. I'm pretty sure he was responsible for Supersonic Racing, so you can get a feel of that here. Also, I hope you love the swatch advertising every single time I hit a lap or a split marker. But yeah, we can keep going around in a circle until we hit 33 seconds, which I guess I can do right off the bat. So there you go. And then, kind of awkwardly, you always have to pause the game and just hit exit when you're out of there, but that's fine. And with that, we get to keep the car. So there you go. You made it. Well done. So there you go. For some reason, you can choose whether the convertible's on a hard top or a soft top when it's raining. And registration changes the number plate, which I am indeed going to change just so on screen it's always me. There you go. Kind of annoying. I'm pretty sure if you want to get or change these settings, can you do it from here or no? You have to, like, if I click on this, can I edit? No, you can't edit it. That you're stuck with that. You can always just challenge for a car again, because it's not really a cost, but it is still kind of like, yeah, okay. And anyway, so the main meat of the game is the street racing here. Every chapter, and there are 25 chapters, every chapter contains 10 races. And in each race, there's a chapter target, there's a number of points that you need to be getting, and also as you get points, you will also unlock the other races, and also get new cars. Or at least be able to get new cars. Every event has some kind of instruction, so this is, you know, try to beat the lap time of 49.2 seconds, I guess, within 3 laps. But what makes this kind of interesting is that you can challenge. So 49.2 is the minimum, but you can set this. So they've got a par for the car, they've, you know, I don't know, some kind of calculation. They go, yeah, can you actually do 38.5? And you can type that in, and now you can do 38.5. If you do this successfully, you will gain a greater reward. And that's where this kind of fun and slightly annoying, but sort of fun risk-reward system kicks in. Is you're basically pushing yourself to see if you can do a little better than the game particularly needs you to do. Because obviously you can do that bare minimum, but, you know, are you going to get that many points for it? Maybe. You do also get points for not tapping walls, and also for drifting. I hope you love this music, by the way. But if you ever see it say like "Wahey" up the top, then you know I'm doing a good drift. So I feel like this track is actually a bit of a doozy, because you've got this weird island in the middle, and it immediately turns right. So, and also I guess one thing is that when it's dark, it's kind of proper dark. You can't exactly see the boundaries as much. But yeah, oh, there you go. So that's me doing a proper drift. So that's not fast enough, but we can still do 2 more laps. Having a crack at it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you can bump into walls, but if you do tap into ones, they're gonna tell you off afterwards. You'll see what I mean. It just takes a little bit of kudos off. It's not too bad, but the fewer times you hit walls, the better. But yeah, other than that, it's a very neat and slightly stiff, but it's a neat racing game. I guess calling it Project Gotham Racing Zero is quite interesting, because one, yeah, they went on to make that game immediately afterwards, and I think for the oh my gosh, I was turning too early, and I was like, well, I don't want to bonk the wall there. Oops. We've already got the time, so I don't need to worry too much. I swear these lyrics as well. But yeah, they curiously as well, Project Gotham Racing takes all the environments from this game and also adds one more in there. So I guess the gimmick of the game, and we'll get into it kind of soonish, is that how would I put it? There are 3 cities in the game. We've got San Francisco, we've got London, and we've got Tokyo. And so there you go, that was successful. That's why you got those clocks up the top as well, which is, you know, so you can see what time it is in all of these places. So the skill is based on the thing I set, so a higher target means more points. And that's what I mean by, like, setting a good target usually means you're doing, you know, like a good score there. If you bail out of a challenge, by the way, you actually lose kudos, but you can regain it by just doing a good score there. So same thing here, 3 laps. We'll see if we can do even, well, we'll hit the part time. We'll see if I'm solid enough for this one. But yeah, each of the 3 cities has 3, how would I put it, districts? So basically 3 kind of maps, and then each map consists of quite a bunch of city streets and corners and all that stuff, and virtually every single event uses a completely different, well, maybe not completely, uses a fairly different layout, because there's so many roads, there's so many like little ways you can go, that you end up getting some really curious, you know, I guess you're always having to learn a new layout and a new circuit every single time. And that's where the joy of like this game comes in, is that city racing, you know, was sort of, I guess, how would I put it? There's a lot of driving games around this time that really tried to, whoops. There's a lot of driving games, city driving games, that really tried to do the open world a little bit, the open city, and the success ranged quite a bit. Like, different ones were sort of there at the time, and different ones weren't. I think probably the classic example that everyone would cite is Midtown Madness, which was only released on PC, and then later the Xbox. Yeah, I could have set a much lower time on this one. Obviously, as well, if you have a better car as well, you can return to these events and come back and do even better and get more kudos. And that's one thing. Project Gotham Racing actually, I'm pretty sure, locks you into... actually, is it class-based in the first game? I've forgotten. Not too sure if it's class-based. There we go. I love this music. It's great. Yeah, so you're always on this hunt to see how, how many more kudos you can get, because you get to around, like, chapter 12 eventually. I'm not too sure how many weeks I'd play this, because obviously it's like, well, you're driving a car for a while, but I do want to show it off in a decent mileage, if you will. Now here's something as well. This one says hot lap, but you got to watch out. It says average of 33 seconds, so got to be careful there. Or not even 33 seconds. We're doing 25.6. I appreciate there's a practice button just in case as well, so you can vet how much you want to challenge yourself, but it's good fun. Yeah, Midtown Madness existed. I think Driver is another example a lot of people will cite, because Driver really... The Roadhouse! Whoops. This is Faye Douglas now with a recent hit, Don't Wait Till Tomorrow Comes. So, yeah, yeah, Driver's one. I'm trying to think of other open world ones. I know later a lot of people will cite, like, either Midnight Club or, I don't think any of the Need for Speeds until Underground 1. So I don't think that counts, but yeah. The sequel, Project Gotham Racing 2, by the way, I'm pretty sure it's... So for reference, I'm pretty sure Project Gotham Racing 1 has all of this plus a New York environment, and then the sequel, Gotham Racing 2, completely new stuff, but also has like 12 or 11 cities, and then also the Nürburgring Nordschleife, because every game needs the Nordschleife. It's not really a street, well, it sort of is a street circuit, it is a highway. Don't wait till tomorrow comes. It's every time. But yeah, one other thing I also kind of like is that each of the districts defaults to a radio station. And there's 9 radio stations, and each one has 3 songs, so you may eventually get tired of the music, but it's kind of neat. It's a decently filled soundtrack. I don't mind it, so that's all good. Project Gotham Racing 2 has a ridiculously big soundtrack, though, I'll tell you that. But it's all licensed music, so if you play it, you gotta be careful for those YouTube DMCAs. You can't show video gameplay of anything with licensed music, so... Alright, so now we have a race against the clock. We have to complete 1 rounds in the time limit. This one is basically, yeah, there's slow-moving traffic, and you've got to make sure that you do 3 laps on this, I guess, within the time limit. Again, not too bad. We're actually, despite being called Metropolis Street Racer, we haven't been racing all stream, but we'll get there. We'll get there. But yeah, one thing I really like is that every time you turn off the game and you turn it back on, it prompts you for the, for what time it is, and use that as a tool to basically play the game at different times, because there'll be some races in the game that actually say, hey, you can only do this at a certain time of day, which sort of forces you into basically setting the time for yourself. See, I love how I said, oh, everything is like a different layout, and then it's like, here is basically the only time it repeats. Oops. But, it's the NASCAR layouts. It's just all turning left. Also, I do hate, like, the other drivers. It's always argy-bargy the entire game. Don't play fair. Well, yes, the Mazda MX-5 does take stairs like that. Now, Project Gotham Racing did have a 3 and 4 on the 360. I never played those, unfortunately. I heard some slightly more mixed things. Well, actually, they were good in some ways and a bit okay in some other ways. But But the studio went on to do Geometry Wars, which also was pretty popular. And also in the past, I believe they did one of the F1 games on the PS1. I don't believe I've played it, so. But yeah, no, these guys know what they were doing. And if anything as well, there's so many games from this time period that really tried to be Gran Turismo clones, and here's one that. Oh yeah, did they make a James Bond game? Ooh. Yeah, Blur's a neat one, actually. Blur's a neat one. Which Bond game did they make? Not 007 Racing, I hope. I guess that's another racing game you can play on stream. Yes. But yeah, I don't think they're around anymore. And honestly, like, Microsoft's put all their eggs in the Forza basket. Project Gotham Racing was there first, but Forza was taking on the Gran Turismo a bit better, which was a bit weird because I wasn't the biggest fan of the first Forza, but Bloodstone 007. Ah, there you go. If we ever listen to this song long enough, the lyrics are sort of hilarious. It's just a stretch for the rhymes, I tell ya. There are no BMWs in this game, I just want to add. Should've known. No need to be aware? Hold on, wait a minute. I know what he means, but also like, I'm not too sure if you wanted to rhyme with that one. There we go. Anyways, lots of leeway. Oh my goodness. I can never get over it. I can never get over it. But yeah. So, yeah, no, I felt like I've had a fairly productive week. I haven't particularly been playing a lot of games, so it's just a little bit of chip away progress at Shining Force CD and Xenosaga 3. So we'll get onto that one, but the big thing I wanted to do was, yeah, I released the Brain Age set before last week, so I played through that one. Or rather, that's all done and dusted there. And fortunately, the bug tickets have calmed down, so I feel like I've done everything right now. But then it's like, okay, well, what's the next thing? We get onto more Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock for deving the Retro Achievement set, and I'm like, you know what's gonna like bug me is not having the microphone support. So I was like, I need to like start asking and going for it like right now, because otherwise we're gonna get closer to the the end of the year, and it's like, I don't know, you're not gonna get the support, or if it is gonna take a lot of time, then it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good to put that for later. So I was like, I'm just gonna dive into it. I'm gonna start asking the questions, check out the code, try and understand what's going on. And the current state is literally a few hours before the stream, I've actually raised the pull request. I need to address a couple of things. Keep forgetting A is the handbrake button. Yeah, I need to take that a little faster. Also, the chord sequence on this song's kind of gnarly. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like, it is Supersonic Racing all over again. Ah, yeah, there you go. But no, yeah, the pull request is, it's functional, and I'm really glad the state it's in, because I do understand actually most of what's going on. So for reference, this is pre-merge, so technically subject to change, but yeah, the short is that Dolphin has an emulation support for the Wii Speak, and so my theory was, well, the Logitech microphone is... The Wii Speak's a very novel... Well, it's a more novel USB device, so it doesn't actually function like a typical audio microphone, which means the implementation can't exactly be reused, but at some point they need to use the real microphone and start converting the data into whatever the Wii Speak then needs to operate with. So I thought, well, that half should basically be intact, and actually that's the part I need to refactor right now. It's because some people are reviewing it and they're like, yeah, like, why we need to get away from copy pasting lots of code, and I completely agree. I'm not too sure if I'm doing it the right way, but I think, hey, you know, we'll get some feedback, and I mean, they seem very helpful, so that's all good. But the other half is, well, it's a USB device. It's a USB... Oh yeah, so you'll get these jokers, by the way, and a joker just means that you can bet to get double the kudos. I'm not too sure if you can ever get them back, so technically you don't ever need them, but you probably should use them on ones that you know you can get lots of kudos on. Particularly longer events, they always seem to be the one. See, now this one's an interesting one where your goal is to overtake a certain number of cars, and they don't exactly tell you how many cars you can do. So we're going to try our best here. Ooh. Ooh. Sound. But yeah, the other half, the Logitech microphone is just a normal USB microphone. Like, you can plug it into a computer, and because it's defined like a very normal microphone, it's going to work on everything that knows how to handle generic microphones. The Wii Speak is not going to work on regular computers because it does really need a specific driver. And technically, depending on the game itself will have different implementations for how to handle the microphone. So it does depend on the underlying system because, yeah, obviously the Wii doesn't natively support Logitech microphones, but still, it seems pretty straightforward. It's just like, okay, we'll just define the descriptor and then handle the messages. And yeah, it kind of was that. What were the messages? I use PCSX2 for reference because both emulators are on basically the same license. So it's just like, well, you know, using the same open source code for the same open source reasons. I didn't really get to copy paste. Sup, Ellie? How you doing? I didn't really get to use the code for. Sorry, I didn't literally copy paste the code because it didn't fit perfectly. Oh, I keep forgetting. Gotta hold X. That's gonna be savage right there. You gotta hold X not to reverse, but to put the car in reverse gear so that you can then reverse. Let's see if we can go quick. We can still get 4 more. So yeah, so I thought, you know, 2 and 2 together. We're looking for creating the and for the menu, it's literally going to be the same as the Wii Speak, because it's just like you enable the feature, which means the microphone is plugged in. You then configure. Oh, come on. You then configure the, you know, which real microphone you're using. There's a volume meter as well if you want to adjust the gain. And then you can also mute your microphone if you want, but not unplug it. And that seems pretty straightforward and what we want from this microphone. So there you go. Also nice. Got 11. We got 11. I don't remember Trafalgar Square quite being this small. I don't know. I've been to Trafalgar Square. There's a museum at the end, isn't there? Or is it a train station? Maybe it's a train station. Look at that. Oh, all that skill. And then I lose it all because I bonked into so many cars. But yeah, you don't have to do every single race. I think everything ends in a championship as well, so that always takes time. It's hopefully very, very soon. Yeah, hopefully very soon. So implementing it was... so this is fun, by the way. You can... you gotta beat your opponent, but you can give him a head start. And you can make it so that technically the head start's negative, which gives you more leeway, but is it worth it? Maybe. Sometimes it is, actually. just to get the points to get into it. So I can't start. He's just gonna go. The fattest sounds. But yeah, hopefully soon. So implementing it wasn't too bad, because the games that I really wanted to get it to work with were the rock bands and the guitar heroes in particular. And the rock bands and the guitar heroes... Simply time. The rock bands and the guitar heroes... I feel like 5 seconds is not enough on a track this small, by the way. Yeah, nah. I think we're gonna have to go 0 time on this one. I'm pretty sure there's other rhythm games. So I tried Disney Sing It, and Disney Sing It. So for reference as well, just on the technical a little more. The microphone supports up to it's usually 16-bit, which is fortunately yeah. I'm just gonna give myself 0 time on this one. It's 16-bit. It's 48 kilohertz, and I believe the Wii Speak can support that, but depending on... So, by the way, if you ever leave a race... Oh, no! It's... my money, it's gone! So we'll just do this as a normal... We both start at the same time. Depending on the game will set a different sample rate. And it was very important that you actually change the underlying... we're using QBEB for this one, because it's the same as, you know, what's already there. But it's important that you set the underlying stream sample rate to the one that the game is requesting. And that's, fortunately, quite explicit. The game will provide the value in... well, it fills a 24-bit number, but, I mean... You only need 24 bits if you're going to like 96 kilohertz, so we don't need that. But still, the game itself spits out the sample rate at you, and you've got to change your stream to sync with that. Once you've got that, your samples are actually lined up pretty well. Like, the only thing that you really have to do is change your, you know, if your microphone is going too loud, you just, you know, adjust all the values before you transmit it to the game, so you just multiply it by the gain, which is what the Wii Speak does, so I didn't have to do anything there. The only thing that I had to worry about was the Wii Speak code would then swap the endianness of the bytes. So the values are 16 bits wide. It would put the larger part of the 16 bits first, and then the smaller part second. And when I first... Yeah, it is the swizzle. It is the swizzle. Or it's more for endianness rather than swizzling. Because swizzling is like mixed endian. It's like it's little endian for half of it, but then big endian for the other half, which doesn't really make any sense. But what this meant when it came to your audio was that everything would basically be peaking the entire time. Unless you were crazy quiet. So if you adjusted... See, look at that. It didn't even gain anything. It's 55, okay. So this one, for reference, has a special race. So if we can hit the 75 kudos, we actually will get something fancy here. So keep that in mind. Also, you have to beat a race. But, I mean, we've got the MGF and 2 MX-5s. We can do this, can't we? Maybe. We'll see. So all your audio comes in very loud. The first time I actually got the microphone all hooked up and working, and it was like several days of just like trying things, looking at the messages, and hoping that I'm along the right lines, but none of it was coming through in game. You'd get past the first part, which is getting the guitar heroes need to detect that the microphone is plugged in before it gets you in game. Getting the actual audio to transmit through is a secondary point, so that first part was pretty straightforward, because really all you have to do in Dolphin is just define that there is a USB device with a certain product ID, so it's just saying it is the Logitech microphone, and then the game goes, oh cool, that's it. And you just have to like not like respond with bad error codes, and it's all good. it doesn't really set anything. It just, well, it does set things, but it doesn't really get any specific values from the microphone to, you know, to operate. It just sort of gets the config descriptor and then goes, okay, cool, we're set. So, but then yeah, once you get into the game and I got the microphone all working, it was crazy loud. And I was playing Song 2 by Blur, and I went woo at the beginning of the song, and it's just like so crunchy. It was so loud. It was hilarious. But then yeah, once you figured out what you were doing with the values and how they were swapped when they shouldn't have been swapped, it is for exactly. But yeah, once you figured out that they were swapped, it was like, oh snap, it lines up really well. You don't actually have to do really any fancy processing because, as I say, it's just a regular microphone. The other thing that I did notice though is that hooking up the sample rate made it quite clear that the buffer size was ridiculously large by default for the I'm gonna fend everything off from these fellas, I tell ya. The buffer size was really large. I think it was set to like 12,000 samples or something. And I'm thinking to myself, like 12,000 samples, or 16,000 samples actually, at 48 kilohertz, it's like, that's a third of a second. Your audio is a third of a second delayed, which the larger of a buffer you have, you know, there's less risk of crackling if you know, don't have your buffer filled by the time you're reading it. But it also adds latency. So I've been doing some testing just to try and figure out what's low enough, and I'm not too sure if, you know, I'd like some testing from other people as well on different computers and different microphone setups just to sort of get a good gauge as to whether lowering the buffer size actually is good. It also depends on the game. So what I noticed is that Lego Rock Band uses the full 48 kilohertz, I guess, sample width. But Rock Band 3 only uses 11 kilohertz, which is kind of interesting. It's a supported mode, and you can easily set the QBEB stream to use that, so no problem there. But it does mean that with a larger buffer size, you actually get even more delay. It's kind of ridiculous. So I haven't dynamically sorted that out, and I should dynamically get that working, and maybe that'll be a nice to have to throw in. But I think the bare minimum, I think a lot of people will be happy to just be able to turn on one microphone and start singing into these games. I tried some other games as well. There's a game called We Sing. There's a song called Just Sing, I think. Is it Just Sing? 2016. There's a few other ones, and they're much newer games and cheaper games, and for some odd reason they don't quite work with the microphone. They won't detect it. They keep asking for a few more things, and I'm not responding with the right stuff there. So, but yeah, no, that unlocked a car, by the way. So in theory, we can, you know, we can go to the garage and give ourselves a new car. I'm pretty sure as well, if you do every event, you also get another car. There are 93. Oh my goodness. So here we go. We've got the OPC. Yeah, we can challenge for it. What color we make it? Oh! Carabo Verde. Very nice. So we gotta beat 32 seconds here. That's a lot of games that have a USB mic. I guess if you count all the like Disney Sing-Its, and yeah, I didn't test like, yeah, the Kylie Minogue one. If you count like all the rock bands and all the Guitar Heroes and all the Sing-Its, you've probably got like 30, maybe 40 titles on there. So I'd probably say that's still a decent win to like just get that out of the way. And hopefully, this song sounds familiar, doesn't it? Oh, I hate this blind corner when it's dark. But yeah, I still feel like it's a good win. Getting that out, so and definitely it'll unblock the retro achievement set devs, because we can then ship the game or ship the sets out, and they're not. Well, I mean, people can actually use the microphone support without needing a real microphone. Yeah, I didn't test You Sing, but yeah, Let's Sing is the one. The nice thing about these challenges is that there's no kudos involved, so you can bump the walls and no one will care. Oh, we're looking on track. We're looking on track. Perfection right there. Yeah, there's probably a few more to test with. I don't particularly have the manpower or effort to really want to test with all of them, because again, we're going from no support to some support. Although now that I'm consolidating the WeSpeak code, I think I need to one based on Andrew. What? But yeah, like at the very least, we should be able to get the Guitar Heroes and the Rock Bands working, and I think that is a real good success case for me, especially because I was very worried. I've really, like, I was worried it was going to be too hard. I was worried, like, I wouldn't know what was going on, or I'd be spending so much time trying to figure this out. And I don't have a real microphone on the ready to exactly test with, but it kind of worked out okay. There's the other thing as well that we don't have fully implemented. So here you go, by the way, we've got a championship, and it said there were, how many races? 2 rounds. I believe you can get 10 points a round, so if you can go for it, I might drop it to 10 just because we got 2 Astra Coupes in there and the Megane. Actually, I'll leave it at 8. Who knows? Because some of these events start to kick your butt. You'll go to chapter 2, you'll be like, why are the easy events easier? Karaoke Joy Sound and Karaoke Revolution. Revolution! I'm amazed how many games use microphones. There's so many.
3, 2,
Gosh, the wheel spin on this one. There are obviously best cars in this game as well, so... but yeah, by setting the goal at 8 points, or maybe I'll be sad if I am actually like good at this. No, that's okay, we can always return later. I always hate this one because of this narrow part here. You can kind of do an early cut there as well, but it's always a bit awkward. Have I mentioned every car has the most obnoxious horn in the world in this game? It's great. But yeah, I was worried it was going to be a bit too hard, and especially because I don't have any expertise working in USB. I did a fix for PCSX2, but that was something that was like, very, very, like, I would have guessed it would have worked like that. Like, there should have been a D-pad on the drum controller. And I'm like, what happens if you just add the config to bind, the keys and then just see it happen? And it just worked. And I was like, oh, cool. So, testing the most important games. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm assuming they work unless otherwise, but rather we're going from no support to maybe support. So if someone's got a game that I haven't tested with and they see it works, then sweet. If they see a game that doesn't work, then that's fine. If anything as well, we can actually build a compatibility table and say, hey, this works with a real one, but not the emulated one. We can start building that up. But like the emulated one, in the future, now people will need to make sure that it doesn't regress on any titles. Fortunately, it seems that the Guitar Heroes and the Rock Bands are going to be very straightforward. They all virtually function the same, so there's no problem there. If anything as well, I'm not too sure if anyone's documented it, but Rock Band 1 and Track Pack Volume 1 and 2 on the Wii don't support Guitar Hero guitars. They only support the Rock Band guitar. And the emulated guitar on Dolphin doesn't work with those games. And I'm like, that's probably an example where it's like, yeah, you can use a real guitar, and that will, a real Rock Band guitar as well, and that will work with those games. But the emulated one only goes so far. But obviously, it's better than having no emulated guitar at all. So, that's what you just got to do there. I believe drums work. I'm not too sure. Actually, not too sure if Guitar Hero drums work on Rock Band 1 on the Wii. It was kind of weird because they released Rock Band Rock Band in the same year as Guitar Hero 3. And I think the reasoning is that they released the game without any knowledge of what the Wii peripheral was going to be. Yeah. So later track packs and Rock Band 2 and onwards, which didn't come out in Australia, so that was pain for us. But those did support the guitars. That's fine. But yeah, no, it's just the original game. So that'll be a curious one for people to fix in emulator world later on. Yeah, okay. So apparently I've gotten my 10 points. We are well set. But that's the breakdown. So as long as I can come third in every race, then I think that's fine. But yeah, I hope you can see as well, like, with these environments, it's like, oh, you know, we return to the same areas. Like, this is the financial district again, right? We'll see in a hot second. I clicked a bit too fast. Yeah. And it's very foggy at 2:15 a.m. I'm not too sure if we'll exactly get the time span shift that visible on stream. Maybe we will. It's going to be dark in Tokyo all the time, and maybe there'll be the crack of dawn in San Francisco, and maybe it'll be sunset in London. But if I play this game in future streams, I'll play at different points in time, just to spice things up a bit. Everyone likes late 90s, early 2000s R&B. It's just that drum sound. I don't know where it's from. Richard, if you're listening, you tell me what drum sound you used. But yeah, no, it's great. So, but yeah, no, we'll get a repository of what games are out there. But I will sort of start with this minimum viable just to unblock the achievement set. So that'll be good. That'll be good for everyone playing now, I guess, or at least once we get it merged. And then also for the people who then play with the Wii rollout, so that'll be good. It's currently 1,500 lines, I think, with me consolidating the microphone code. Hopefully it'll go down another 300, so it's not going to be as big. But it's still, like, it's a decent bit of work. It was only a couple of lines when I did the PCSX2 change, so that's what I was kind of worried about. I was like, ooh, is it actually a lot of work? But, well, it was a lot of work, but it's not, yeah, I didn't feel like I ever got, like, that stumped. I kind of just went for it and just sort of, like, bounced some ideas and things with other people. Also, as well, if anyone asks, I don't have multiple microphones emulated. I couldn't figure out just off the bat how to get more than two of the same thing going in. So I'm not too sure if there needs to be something additional on there. Someone's going to ask. I don't have it quite working. And I feel like we'll start with one microphone and then get the next ones working afterwards. If anyone does a multi-set for any of the retro achievement sets, then they're going to want that. And I'm very happy to return to that to get that working. But well, you can still play the harmony mode in single player. You just can't. Yeah, you can't play it with more than one mic. So, in particular, as well, no Beatles Rock Band harmonies, because that one's in development. So, yeah, and then with that, I can then return to developing the actual set, and I can then tell you whether too many achievements is possible on retro achievements. So that'll be fun. But yeah, no, that's good. Also, shout out, I've been using Visual Studio 2026 for the whole thing. It's in pre-release. It boots up very quick. But editing C++ is still always a bit of a pain, because when you get linker errors, it's like, oh. So currently my refactoring is at a linker error point, and it's like, I do not know what's happening here. I do not know. You made it. think championships give a decent... They did not... That was really not that worth it. But I did get a car, so at least there's that. There you go. On to the next chapter. So this is, you know, this game is going to go on forever, if that makes sense. Like, seriously, 25 chapters, and we took 40-something minutes to do the first one. And you know, they get longer and longer, so... you have to beat 17 seconds. Oh my goodness. What's the circuit? Oh, it's the little tiny bean one. Oh, can we actually do 12.5 seconds? Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go, yeah. But yeah, other than that, yeah, hopefully we'll get that merged soon, and then, yeah, people can start enjoying it, so... Or tell me what needs to be improved upon. That's all an iterative thing. There's probably going to be quirks, but hopefully it's a smooth enough experience. I'd love the ads, by the way, in the radio as well. You can switch it onto a CD mode if you want as well. Okay, we need to somehow get like, what's that, 0.8 faster than that. Whoop. Darn, right at the end as well, so I've lost it into the next lap. Oh, that's... Oh, wait, that's good. That's good. Yeah, we're good. I was like, hold on, wait. I saved time on the lap before. There we go. They don't make cars this green anymore. So, visually, this game's pretty neat. I like it. There's a bit of, I guess... The Dreamcast lacks aliasing, or anti-aliasing. Everything is quite aliased. They sort of expected the, sort of crispness of the system to come through onto CRTs, but then engage in a little bit of that CRT blurring. When you play on an emulation system, you're naturally going to sort of see the jaggedness of every single pixel, and that's always going to happen there, but that's fine. Nose style. You see that? Nose style. Fastest of 3 laps. 42.4. Okay, we'll go even faster, apparently. If only I could scroll through this a bit quicker. And we could turn on the Joker at one point, but we'll wait until there's something good. Oh, I love hearing crackling in my left ear. Yeah, so that's been my week for the most part. For other people, maybe there's been more, I guess, more eventful or more personal things going on, but certainly one thing this bullet in my gun song, by the way, does not exist in the game. It's just made up. But yeah, no, I was talking about the graphics of this game. I do like how large the cities feel. Like, even though, you know, a lot of the circuits are quite closed off, even the longest parts, it's like, yeah, you know, you still got a solid, like, minute and a half, I think, on some lap times. I don't think anyone will argue that minute and a half lap times are too short. But there's a fair bit of detail on the buildings, and every environment feels a bit different, and it's actually kind of neat having the lighting change over time. Maybe not in real time, but as the game loads in and it figures out where all the lighting sits. Even if most of the shadows are, you know, quite blobby. I still like it. For 2000, I guess we're competing against Gran Turismo 2, and Gran Turismo 2 it's quite the looker, but it's also still on the PlayStation 1, and there's only so much detail that you can really provide. Whereas here, it's like, you know, check that out. You can see the, also, wait a minute, 30 seconds? Oh my goodness, hold on. 30 seconds? I might be taking that corner a bit slow, but like, where am I finding another 5.5 seconds out of this? Because that's like a really clean... Well, I say really clean even though I'm bonking the walls. 30 seconds, wow. Well, they're going to tell me off. They're going to tell me off. So... now, if you are a Windows user, I was going to say my condolences. I'm a Windows user. Most people are Windows users. I feel like, I don't know, there's always a fun bit about Linux elitism. But on the flip side, it's like, it shouldn't matter like what operating system you're using. It should matter, yeah, the Parfia car lied to me. 100% that's a lie right there. It shouldn't really matter what operating system you're running as long as you can run the software that you want to run on it and it's stable enough that it does what you want it to do. And we got two pieces of information. One is, I'm not too sure if I mentioned it last week, but yeah, it was Windows was hilariously locking people, well, not locking yet, but like if you ever needed to go into the recovery environment for Windows 11, in a recent update, it actually disabled support for USB mice and keyboards. You could still use a PS2 mice and keyboard, but most people do not have PS2 ports on their motherboards anymore. If you're running a server, you might still have one out there. And I think they're always useful for diagnostics, just in case. Because the key reason why they're neat is PS2 devices are polled by the computer, whereas USBs are interrupt-based. And that means that if the computer stalls, sometimes the USB can't propagate the info, whereas a PS2 port will always get polled eventually. You can always trust it to sort of work a bit more than it usually would. But I don't know, it depends on what the operating system's doing under the hood anyways. And usually USB devices are granted very, very, very top level, hey, you gotta work at least. Mice and keyboard especially. And sometimes audio devices. Yeah, someone forgot the memo at Microsoft and they casually shipped version of Windows 11 where the driver wouldn't load. None of the USB drivers would load in the recovery environment. And you sort of need a little bit of a driver to load to get the mouse working. And it's not like it's, you know, the recovery environment. It should be the fail-safe environment. So most likely, I think a lot of people probably infer whoever tested this probably only tested with a PS2 mouse and went, yeah, no, it works. Or something more likely, no testing. Test and prod. That's what we did. But I think there's another one, because people are probably seeing as a meme, which is it's the skeleton doing the weightlifting. Microsoft is a corporation that turns, there's a screenshot of a news article, Microsoft CEO claims 30% of its new code is written by AI. And then into that, there's Windows 11 update breaks localhost prompting mass uninstall workaround. Windows 11 media creation tool not working on Windows 10 PCs. Windows 11 24H2 and 25H2 patch breaks IIS websites after Patch Tuesday. Security update causes Active Directory sync failures on Microsoft on Windows Server 2025. I'm like, the number of articles about gaffes in Windows is starting to get a bit staggering, and not to say that like Windows has had the reputation of being a very reliable and bug-free operating system, because I think a lot of people will harken back to the Windows Vista days of things being sort of undocumented, and everyone developing peripherals for Windows Vista was like, how do I get this to work? Because stuff doesn't work like it should. And yeah, so Windows has always been like that. Surprisingly, I think Windows 8 was actually quite bug-free. It was just also, no one liked the UI. That's why Windows 8 always has that reputation. And if anything as well, oh, did you see that? Was that the model view matrix accidentally dividing by 0 for a hot moment? But yeah, some people might actually, you know, probably have an aversion to Windows 11, and I honestly don't think Windows 11 is, like, that bad, but obviously, is it a step back from Windows 10? Well, there's like, there's a couple of things I can point to and go, yeah, like, why? The most obvious one is using, requiring a TPM module. Is that like ATM machine, where the M in TPM stands for module anyways? But having to have that to install the operating system is such a doozy, because I don't quite understand why you have to have it. I feel like encouraging people to have it is great, but obviously, and for reference as well, this module, what it does is that it validates at boot time, sorry, as in when the operating system installs, or you can register it at any time afterwards, the operating system registers the key with the a cryptographic key with the motherboard, and then that means that the motherboard now can validate that what the operating system that's being booted as is indeed the one that it was registered with, and that allows it to, you know, this is a security feature, first of all. So it's a security feature, which means it should be preventing tampering or other kinds of malicious updates or unsigned updates. That's what it's there for. Anytime you see a game you like require it for anti-cheat, I'm like, what are you doing here? That's not what it's for. Because you can run cheats without tampering with your operating system. It's what they are trying to do is circumvent people running virtual machines and specifically not emulating the TPM module, which you can emulate. It's a very moot point. It doesn't do anything. I don't know why they force this, but sure. If anything as well, it catches a lot of people out who, one, aren't on Windows 11, and two, don't know how to enable it without borking their computer, because you can't really goof your computer too much if you do it wrong. Obviously, if you're poking the BIOS settings and you accidentally tap the wrong things, then yeah, no, you are going to do bad stuff. But if you enable it and you haven't exactly configured it right, and you're really just looking at the TPM stuff, the worst you can do is not be able to boot into Windows unless you turn it off and fix it up. So you can't really goof it that hard, but it is a bit scary when it doesn't go as planned and you're like, what's going on here? I'm not getting as many kudos for some of these events, I'll tell you that. Complete 1 round, but beware of the snow traffic. I don't trust these par times at some point, I tell ya. I'm just sort of arbitrarily picking something closer to it, but maybe not at it. Someone's probably got a list of like, yeah, here are the times that like you can do, and then here's the ones that maybe are a bit comfier. Maybe someone's got one of those. I know there's a car list, so unless you got that. Wow.
At the third stroke, the time sponsored by Diet Tango will be high tea. Meringue.
Ring. I'm not too sure if there's radio messages about the time of day. Maybe there are, actually. That'd be kind of cool. See, this circuit's ever so slightly different from that other one that we did, like, half an hour ago. Because, you have to go around this bend here. There you go. So different. Yeah, there's only so much that you can really do with the layouts every single time, but I still think it's neat that they tried. Like, it's very easy to just be like, okay, there's only like 5 layouts. You know what I mean? And no, they put in the effort to slap in like literally like 200 layouts. But yeah, I think people rip on Windows 11 because it does have a lot of neat features under the hood. But also, yeah, what's something else that you can rip on? Ads in the start menu, that's really obnoxious. All the Copilot stuff that's being pushed through. I think anything with, you know, all this AI stuff, it's like, man, I just wish I could opt out very easily. You most likely can with registry tweaks. Oh, and also preventing or really being against people creating non-Microsoft accounts on their computer. It's painful. Absolutely painful. Like, why, Microsoft? You just inflating metrics? Are you inflating metrics, Microsoft? You're like, oh, look, how many people have, you know, use OneDrive every day? And it's because the average person needs to install or needs to log in with a Microsoft account, and then it immediately chucks OneDrive on their computer, and suddenly their files keep getting back to the cloud and not on the drive of the computer that's right in front of them. the average person's computer is not, or rather their internet is not that great. So the amount of OneDrive usage that they're being forced into is just ugh. Do people irresponsibly lose files very easily? Yes. Do you need to force them into using OneDrive? No. So I think this one as well, the speed is calculated at the sector times, or the sector splits, which makes that first one kind of cruel. But as long as I'm driving over 120 Ks, then we're good here. There we go. But yeah, there are some things that are pretty good under the hood on Windows 11. I really like the... it's getting there into becoming a hypervisor. It's not there yet, but it's getting there. I actually think it's actually quite easy. I'm glad, at least Windows 11 Pro, that they make it so incredibly easy to run you know, previous Windows versions or other virtual machines using Hyper-V. I'm actually amazed how very straightforward of a feature that is. I know it's on Windows 11 Pro, but you know, tap on the nose. If you're looking in the right places, everyone should be using Windows 11 Pro. Or you just buy an OEM key, one of those. There we go. I think WSL is getting really, really good. I appreciate that it ships with WinGet. That's great fun for me. I think a lot of people also don't realize that, like, copying files through Windows Explorer is faster. Oh, but I will say, I will rip on them adding internet browsers into places that internet browsers don't need to be. So my favorite example is, why does Windows Explorer need to be written in Node.js? Why? I'm going to give him actually, I'll give him... I'm going to go for the 5 seconds, because we're up against an MX-5 here. You know, once we're in motion, my car should be steamrolling him, I think. Maybe. And it's a longer lap as well, so that helps. Shinjuku.
There's music around. This is Tokyo 102.
And now you have to understand Japanese. So for reference, we've got this weird rear view mirror button. And then what else we got for buttons? Yeah, you can go right to the road, which is a bit gutsy, or not as to the road, which I think is fine. But yeah, this is the default camera. I should probably show it off. My problem with the default camera is it's a bit too on the horizon. Yeah, you see what I mean? This one is better, but I'm like, I might as well just be a bit further back. Why not? Also, here I am losing even more time to the MX-5. Whoops. Whoopsies. We'll just give it another go. It's 3 laps. Pain and suffering right there. Maybe we'll give him 2 seconds, just cause I don't trust myself. I don't trust my driving anymore. But yeah, no, there's things to rip on Windows 11 and things to like it. But ultimately, it's not that much for the end user compared to Windows 10. And I think a lot of people recognize that. And Microsoft, honestly, like, how would I put it? They shouldn't be ashamed of the fact that Windows 11 is just that, but I think it's an investor thing. I think that's where the angle comes from. And obviously, I think the more problems there are, I think actually that is a worse thing. I would prefer a more stable and just less featureful release than something that's got way too much, like, brand spanking new things that are not really that well implemented or realized. And yeah, this layout, by the way, has all the track boundaries. Yeah, just sort of got to work around it, but we'll catch up to this fella. He's honking at me. Ugh. Me, we'll get him. Also me, freaking Danny Kvyat move right there. Ah. Alright, I'm going around the outside on this one just so I've got a wider turn. There we go. Sometimes I tap the wall and it's not quite a tap. So, that's okay there. Do you like breathing sounds? Because you're going to hear breathing sounds on this one. They call him the torpedo. I'm going to lose like all my kudos at the end. But it's worth it. It's worth it. But yeah, I don't know. I think that all the features that they've been adding into Windows are all just investor bait. Where it's like, it just seems like, oh, you know, this will get more revenue. Or will it? Will it? I don't actually know. Is everything pre-revenue? I know we keep talking about like AI and the OpenAI valuation potentially being $1 trillion. Nvidia is worth $5 trillion. And I'm like, where is this money going to come from? Like, I know it's stock value. It's not like it doesn't have to really exist. Obviously, if a company ceases to exist, well, all the stocks become zero. But it doesn't mean that stuff wasn't done. You know what I mean? Like, so there's obviously that, but like, see, I don't trust giving this one a head start. We'll just have a crack at it. But yeah, it's like, where is like all the stock market valuation coming in from? I had a weird kind of thought, and I know it's not, you know, it's not exactly the most accurate thing in the world, but if you take the stock value of Nvidia, or the capital value of Nvidia, which is $5 trillion US, and I was like, if you round the population to like 333 million, I know it's a bit above that now, but if you say 333 million, that means for every person in the US, there is... I'm not going to be able to beat this guy.
We've got a request for Chris in Oxford, and this is from your wife Alice, who has asked me to play Helena Davidson's latest single, I Can Still Believe. And what a great choice it is to
Oh, because yeah, this thing doesn't accelerate quite as well as maybe it could. It's grippy, it grips around the corners, but... Oh, actually I could Kvyat it. I can cannonball. Oh, no. Nah. No, I think I actually might need to give me the head start on this one. And you might be wondering, didn't you just get another car? And I know, but I don't think this other one is actually better. I don't think it's better. Well, no, it is the Astra, actually. That's what I got. I mean, you could try it out. The game doesn't exactly tell you any stats, but... We'll do this one, but I'll give myself the head start just to... It's because it's too short. The corners are too tight, so... But yeah, with all these problems going on, I guess let's go back to that original point of the skeleton meme. Microsoft CEO claimed that's a real worthless second head start, was it? There you go. There you go. Smooth overtake. Oh, do not. You shall not pass. I like this not Oasis song, by the way. Don't light any flares in the audience, please. Or it's Creep, one of the two. Masterful lyrics right there. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, the original claim of 30% of the code is AI generated, was it specifically written by AI? And I think that's actually a pretty bold claim, because the original statements I remember seeing some companies saying was that AI was assisting with like really high percentages of code. When I ever see anything say it's AI assisted, this could be, and especially for code goes through a decent bit of a pipeline before it's deployed, and what you could have is street racing against 5 other cars. I think the 206s may kick my butt. We'll see. But, like, obviously, you gotta think it up first. So if, like, you ask a language model or anything, hey, what am I writing? What am I doing? There you go. You've now got AI assisting your code. Okay, well, what if it's like, I know what I'm doing, and I take the AI and I generate a bunch of stuff? Okay, well, that's another step. You could use the AI for linting. You can use the AI for other peer review feedback. You could use the AI maybe even mid-deployment. All of those are different stages. I'd probably say the review stage is probably the most fair place to slot it in, because... And not to say that AI suggestions should be, like, fact. I think everyone should look at it and go, is it right? It's going to say some stuff. Maybe it'll say nothing, but... You know, I don't mind it when it comes to, like, pull requests, you know, like typos. Also, ugh. I don't mind it for, yeah, for typos or maybe some other, like, kind of syntax things that it spots as convention from other things, but... yeah, I have a big problem when it's the actual, like, if you're going to measure lines of code, which, by the way, and this is a real line in the sand thing, any person who ever flexes lines of code, and I know I was talking about how I wrote something that's 1,000 lines of code, I'm saying as in, like, the magnitude of what I needed to understand was a lot larger than something I wrote that was 5 lines. That was the point I was making. But you can't say that the raw number of lines is a, like, it's a metric. It doesn't mean anything, because different languages or different code bases or even different programming styles, depending on how you handle things, will have different magnitudes of how large the code base is. You can write a line on one line, or sorry, you can write, like, statements on one line, you can write statements on multiple lines, you can word wrap very easily. You could write stuff as a functional method, or you could go a bit more imperative. There's lots of ways you can write your code. Different ways will be more prone to being larger in terms of the number of lines. And at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter how many lines you pump out. Oh, there you go. There's a bot. He's got a short username this time, though. They usually have really long ones. They're always first-time chatters as well. You can never ban them. But, like, what are we measuring here? To say, oh, 30% of lines are written by AI. Like, I don't care, you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't... Sorry, not as in I don't care that you're using AI, but rather, the number of lines shouldn't... That doesn't impress me, because I can come up with a lot of things that are, like, 30 lines of code. Wow. Oh, there's a spider as well. The spider. I can come up with lots of things where it's like, yeah, this is such boilerplate. It'd be great to just have a thing just dump a bunch of, you know, like, programmatically chuck it out. And you can get some AIs, you can coerce them into pattern repeating quite well. So based on the description, you basically just get it to generate the code for you. You could write a script to do that as well, but sometimes getting the AI to do it is indeed a quicker strat. But, like, what is, you know, like, is that impressive? I don't know, man. It's just programmatically making code. We have programmatic code makers at home. We literally, like, we have programming languages that transpile into other programming languages, and you're going to tell me that apparently it's not impressive that someone wrote JavaScript that actually compiles into native C++, but it's impressive when an AI turns a table and just generates a bunch of, like, Qt, like, window definitions based on that. Like, you know, that's impressive, but, like, oh my gosh, the person who created language transpilers, absolute pat on the back of that one. Also, I like how the radio does dip under bridges and stuff like that. It's actually kind of neat. I do like these circuits though. There's a lot of fun little corners that you can always dance around. And they all do have a fairly different aesthetic. And that's the other kind of fun part. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Anytime I just see like lines of code, I'm like, oh, come on. This is where I get strongly opinionated. And then a future employer will hear this and be like, either they'll say I'm based or they'll be like, what on earth, what? And I'm like, I'm sorry, bro, but legit, it's funny money if you think that actually raises revenue. Someone out there is getting sort of swindled because they think that's an actual metric that means something. The real meaning, at the end of the day, that we should be using, like, no, it's like, what's one I should say? It's like, authors for books. It's like the number of pages that they go through, and it's like, it depends on their handwriting size, I guess. Oh, we've optimized the number of pages they go through, or alternatively, we think that more pages, screenwriters go through more pages, and I'm like, does it matter? Like, what matters at the end is the quality of the product at the end, the quality of the thing that they do indeed right. And there's obviously things that maybe it could be better or worse, who knows, but okay, so another 2-rounder. Let's go for 12. Let's see if I can go for it. So this will require at least coming second on both of them, or if I win one, a very easy not last on the other one. I don't know, it's stuff like that, but is Microsoft actually using AI tools for this internally? As someone who doesn't have inside knowledge into Microsoft, and also it's inside knowledge, also Microsoft's a big company. I can only provide generalizations based on other big companies I know of, and the easiest thing I can say is, it really depends. Certain teams and certain big companies, and these big companies, they hire thousands of engineers, so naturally there is going to be workplace differences within the same workplace. This one always throws me off, by the way, because of the snaking corners here. It's very foggy, isn't it? I don't think the fog is... Actually, the fog might be there in the morning, but then it lightens up over time. Yeah, unfortunately there's no weather effects like there is in Project Gotham Racing, so if you liked the weather effects, well, I guess you just got the time of day and that's it. Although Project Gotham Racing I don't think has a real clock associated with it, so... Is that the 206 coming in? Wow. Penalty! I should change that. But yeah, the companies are going to be very, very massive. I have seen, definitely, at other large companies, that all the AI stuff is pushed onto them. It really depends on, I guess, the management chain. Someone somewhere, and the higher up it starts, probably the stronger it snowballs down, will really push for metrics. They really love metrics. And I actually find probably the most grounded teams are the ones that... Also, yeah, don't be on the outside for that one. The most grounded teams are probably the ones that aren't... How would I put it? The metrics are entirely built around the quality of the product. Because there are some things where they start making metrics off very arbitrary things. I'm honestly of the opinion of things like coding standards and conventions. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Time to resolve pull requests and stuff. I mean, on average, it would be nice to go down, but like, there are obviously going to be anomalous cases and every team is going to have different problems. It doesn't mean that you can compare teams against other teams. It's like, I don't know why. It sounds so, I don't know, to me it sounds obvious. It sounds like you should obviously like not compare your teams against each other when they don't do the same products. But I'm shocked that I witness managers doing this. I'm like, what is going on there? So I can completely imagine somewhere in Microsoft that is happening, and I don't know where it's happening exactly. There are teams in Microsoft as well that are obviously doing stuff that is fun and inventive and doesn't actually, like, how would I put it? Like the people who are turning Windows 11 into a hypervisor, I'm like, that is something that you probably had to argue someone for. And I really, really dig that change, and I really want to see that, you know, manifest entirely. I want to see all their ideas come to fruition there. But yeah, like, will it make money? The long game, maybe. Probably, actually, because then it would mean that you can virtualize on top. You actually might improve performance with virtualization as well if the actual Windows core is not doing that. You don't have to run all the cruft of Windows Server. They just don't make dancehall music like this anymore. It's like a... yeah, it's like a synth string pluck. It's such a fun sound. And then it's just that drum pattern. It has to be the drum pattern. But yeah, I don't know. It's a cynical view, and it really does depend on the particular engineers at the end of the... well, not even the particular engineers. The team, the organization structure above them, they need to be getting the support to make... and, sorry, not even just the support, they need the direction, they need, as well, also the initiative from the high up to do the things that actually are meaningful. Because I think, obviously, there is always going to be engineering teams where they want to make nice-to-haves, but they can't work on them because obviously it's like, well, you know, we got to work on the next feature and all that. I get that, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, so when you are told as a team that you have to be pumping out AI numbers, and there are horror stories, they're not even horror stories of managers, but like, there are horror stories of people going, yeah, we're at a workplace where we have an AI leaderboard which basically measures how much AI people are using, and it's got bot, like, spam protection, but it doesn't exactly catch, you know, everything. And so people are just finding ways to game the AI system such that they then top the AI leaderboard and they either get a bonus or some kind of commendation. And I'm like, the cost is you are giving money to Google or Amazon or OpenAI or any of these AI cloud providers, and the downside is you've just got people like you are encouraging your engineers to screw you over. What are you doing here? There's something bizarre to this whole like story, this whole like I guess scenario here, because people shouldn't be gaming the scenarios. Also, I like how I don't even have the chapter target. Hold on, so 2625. I mean, yeah, we haven't really been earning good scores here. Everything's kind of mid. I've been winning these races. Maybe I should have another go at the races with better times. Yeah, let's have a go. So for reference as well, it was like if you go into it again, it's like, as you've already gained kudos on the stage, retrying it could lose you over. Yes, you lose the 81 when you reattempt it. Isn't that fun? We're already at the bottleneck point here. It's like, oh, I don't have enough points. Don't even have enough kudos. I guess I can always return to the very early ones and do them a bit better.
3, 2, 1, go! You're listening to Red Stanton on Roadhouse.
Red Stanton. I don't know. Maybe I'm very cynical about the AI stuff because it's just like, where is this going? Where is this going? it's the worst part is that it's not the end of the world. Sorry, well, it might actually be the end of the world. It's not like it's not the worst to actually use it, but it's meaninglessly used in so many scenarios. I've not on the Dolphin stuff, but I actually tried on another personal project to try and really get a local language model to, or a large language model running locally, so I'm not spending any budget, although I am spending electricity, I guess, to try and help guide me towards like answers for the stuff and spitting out the good, you know, kind of generated code. And it's mixed. It doesn't handle scaling repos very well. The moment your repo is like, you know, at least like 20 files or something like that, it really starts to struggle with, at least a local language model, it starts to struggle with what exactly is the consistency and the, you know, I guess the business purpose of what you're actually running. Certainly it can pick style, and if you're consistent enough, the style should hopefully be consistent across all of your files, but I usually found the best questions I could ask it were the ones that were very context-free. I would ask it a technical question about a certain language, and if I had a bit of code, I would give it a little bit of an excerpt myself, as if it were a Stack Overflow answer, and it would generally find somewhere in its language database well, it's not a database, I know it's a predictive system, but still, it would match a bit closer towards the answer. And sometimes I'd be able to ask it for a source and it would actually give me one. But like, those were the best scenarios. And that is one where, like, yeah, that is the use case with AI. Is it a game changer? No. Although it does, you know, it's a game changer in the sense that I'm doing this all offline. It's actually kind of nice to be able to do all this stuff without an internet connection. Because no one can really search for questions on code, like, unless you're an absolute master at, you know, you got your language reference PDFs or web pages. If you're really good at searching over it, then sweet. But yeah, for me, it's like, I don't know, I sometimes struggle with how to get from A to B sometimes. And it's been doing a fairly okay job at that, but it's only a sometimes thing. If anyone made the claim that you're 5 times more efficient, you're 5 times more efficient as an engineer. We only hire engineers that are 10 times better than the other engineer. You're not like, what? Where is this coming from? If and then cynically as well, it's like, okay, so like, if I'm doing 10 times the work, why am I not getting paid 10 times as much? Because obviously, at the end of the day, shouldn't this mean we've multiplied, you know, maybe I guess writing 10 times more lines, which, by the way, again, if that's the metric, then good job. That's a lying metric. It doesn't mean anything. You can't infer that because I can write 10 times more lines of code, it actually means anything is better. I can write some real long ones here and there, let me tell you that. But yeah, no, it doesn't mean anything is better at the end of the day. So, like, if, you know, even if you could say, oh, well, maybe we're getting double the income as a company because we're pumping out code 10 times as fast, it's like, okay, so pay me twice as much as an engineer. And they won't do that. They're not going to do that. It doesn't reflect back on you as the engineer. You're just expected to do more work. And I get that, because, like, on the other... Sorry, not that I get that. I get that, like, well, if... You know, like, when there's a fancy engine and or like a, you know, some industrial kind of process, the stuff gets a bit more efficient. It's like, oh, okay, well, I guess everyone is more efficient, and therefore the company output can be increased. But it's like, I don't know, that should reflect more on the engineers, right? And then the other spin on it, is, of course, is, well, if every engineer is 10 times more efficient, we don't need as many engineers, so bye-bye, you're fired. And I'm like, yeah, okay. That should warrant even more of a scenario for paying the engineers more. Will this stuff replace people's... I feel like I keep asking this question. And I circle back and I go, like, where are we right now? And I don't think the question or the answer has really changed that much. I think we'll see... We keep seeing things that are impressive each time. But again, it's like, you know, like, we've had this machine learning stuff really, you know, it's been mainstream for about 3 years now, and it's been not mainstream for maybe 9. Probably about that time. I mean, we've had machine learning for a while, but like particularly, you know, perceptrons have always been around for decades, but particularly, you know, particularly around the deep mind kind of work, you know, like the AlphaGo work. Yeah, I'd probably say about 10 years for the modern stuff. Okay, so that's a bit more there, but it's still not there yet. I need another 121 kudos, so maybe let's go back over here and we'll just nail this hot lap, I guess. Oh, but that is 168 as well. Or we could dump the Joker. We could dump the Joker into a good lap time here. So I've done it in 23.7. Let's see if we can do it in the 21.5 and play the Joker, and maybe this will work. There we go. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I'm jaded, I'm cynical, and ultimately at the end of the day, I want the quality to be good. And if the quality sucks, if the AI is pumping out garbage code that causes issues in otherwise fairly ordinary scenarios, and you as a user aren't giving it the care to, you know, make it, I guess, if you're not putting in the care to actually bug test or QA or review your AI generated code, which is the unfortunate future, because obviously if anything as well, I don't need to review my own code because I wrote it, like that kind of stuff, if that makes sense. Like, if it's big, I need to double check, I need to skim over and make sure I didn't leave anything weird in the code, but like, you know what I mean? It's like, I know how it works because I wrote it, whereas if something spat it out for me, I would need to read it to understand it. And I feel like everyone is doing that anyways. So like, why... And you know, obviously as well, you need your stuff written or reviewed by the other people on your team. Oops. I don't know, it just kind of blows my mind that like companies have the goal to say that. It is a bit offensive at some point. It's like, wow, I don't know, they're showing a lack of understanding of like what an engineer does. And I get it. Engineers, and particularly Silicon Valley engineers, are very expensive. They are really, really expensive. Mostly because the housing in that area is kind of expensive as well. But like, it's a real, like, I don't know. There's a lot of value for a person who sits in a chair and types stuff. I very get that, but you know, I did earn more stuff with the Joker there, but I'm surprised I had a really good score on the basic car. You know what I mean? Let's see if we can do this one-on-one a bit better. That seems like a low score. Yeah, let's give him the 5 seconds. Actually, no, because I'm gonna be very, very sluggish on that one still. Darn, I'm really... I'm struggling on Chapter 2 to find enough kudos. So I'm pretty sure if you play, like... Yeah, any of the Project Gotham racings, it's like... You don't play for kudos. I think they still use kudos to unlock things, but... your goal is more to aim for medals. So you're basically challenging yourself to, you know, get a certain target. And that'll be bronze, silver, or gold. And, renting this for the... Nice, very nice. It's a good one. It's a good one. This thing doesn't turn. Excuse me. Sorry, I was streaming. Yeah, this thing doesn't turn as well. Like it gets there, maybe, but... The drinks are free, man. Oh, maybe I've got it. Maybe I've got it. Wow. Just sweep it in. Sweep it in. There we go. Somehow. There we go. But was it worth it? Because I kept bonking the wall. I mean, if as long as we beat 55 kudos, which might be okay. No. No. It's just getting worse. We could do this championship again with a higher target. Let's go for it. 14 kudos means nothing. Also, who sets 19? What do you... what do you get out of 19 points? You can't get 19. You can only get 16. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit jaded about the whole AI stuff at the moment because I'm a little worried about I guess the US Federal Reserves and other things like that. I worry there's bailouts and lots of funny money about to happen, but I'm not a financial person. I'm an engineer on the ground, and that's yeah, I don't know. That's all I kind of feel and see there. But hopefully, you know, hopefully it's it either gets better, or I really hope the utopia of what is being promised ends up being there. I mentioned OpenAI hitting that, you know, potentially they're gonna IPO for $1 trillion. Someone will buy, or not someone, but people will own $1 trillion worth of OpenAI stock. They will think that selling this, like if someone bought every single stock, then it would be worth $1 trillion. Allegedly, apparently. I'm not too sure if they will IPO for that amount. Remember as well, Discord's trying to do it. And did Reddit successfully do it? I'm not too sure if Reddit actually did it. Maybe they haven't yet. I haven't checked, actually. But yeah, like, ultimately, any of these companies IPO, you get out of there. Like, you know where this is going. And it could, I don't know, it could still work okay, but yeah, to me, I'm like, what is OpenAI delivering to the world that's worth that much? Like, ChatGPT is cool, and if anything as well, all these other companies have sort of ruined their search engines in a way that's made OpenAI just better in comparison. It's kind of hilarious. But like, is that worth $1 trillion? I feel like, you know, they've got other things. They've got Sora, they've got, what's that one? Is Claude then? Or no? I think that's Anthropic. I don't know, it's hard to keep up with them. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, it's not the end of the economy as we know it, but it's a massive bubble that's unfortunately, it is a bubble. It really is a bubble, and I think OpenAI, the moment they become public, that's it. That's the end of the bubble in my eyes, because like the money or the capital is now just there. So, well, not there, but like it's there to trade in and out of, which means you get out of there. And there's lots of companies as well that actually don't have the market cap but clearly make the money. Like, I didn't even realize Volkswagen report about $1/3 trillion US worth of revenue every, not every year, but at least in the last financial year they did. And it's been growing, but market cap wise they're only worth like 50 billion. So like they earn 7 times their market cap in a year. Meanwhile, Nvidia's here, and I'm pretty sure they've never earned $5 trillion in their lifetime. I don't think they've even earned $1 trillion in their lifetime. Like, I guess, is Volkswagen growing? I don't get it. Maybe this is a me thing. Maybe this is a layman. Like, oh, you just don't get the stock market. But like, I don't know, man. I don't value the potential anywhere near as much when I clearly won't see. I mean, Nvidia is going to make lots of money. Nvidia is, you know, an absolute champ when it comes to networking hardware right now. So whatever happens, like, they're set. But still, I don't know. So, but oh well, the world will keep on turning, and things will even out in some way,
Now,
somehow.
the first album went platinum, and this one looks just as good. This is Gabrielle Nelson. You Can Love Me.
You Can Love Me. There she goes. But yeah, in the world of games, it's been a little more chill. Surprisingly as well, here I am ripping on Windows. Ultimately though, I use Windows because I personally don't have too many troubles with it. I don't experience, like I do update a bit late. So if there are any wide problems, then sure. I do remember having weird problems here and there with some things, like I used to have an issue where Windows Explorer would just randomly keep opening at like 9 AM. It wasn't because of anything in Task Manager, it was just like, I don't know, I install a fresh version of Windows and it starts doing that. I'm like, what? So, I don't know, it could be something my motherboard is like pushing onto Windows. It's kind of annoying there, actually. But yeah, for the most part, it's like, I disabled the Copilot stuff, and I disabled the start menu ads. And I got the local account, and it's like, yeah, it functions kind of like what I expect. It runs fast for what I do. It's, one can make the argument that maybe a very thin setup with Proton and Linux for games might actually be really good. I'm not too... I don't particularly need to squeeze a bit more performance out of my computer if that's actually happening, so I'm cool with that. But the one thing that I run is I run Reaper, and my plugins don't really like Linux. Reaper likes Linux, but my plugins don't. And I can't exactly get around that one right now, so I don't have an easy fix for that. And I feel like that's probably the catch that drags people from not running Linux, but I will be able to run things in Linux. Also, I don't quite get my OBS setup working quite the way I want it to. I like the feature in Windows, or the Windows version of OBS, which is you can select an application and the audio is it's directly that one. It's just that window. And depending on your window manager in Linux, it's actually a painful process to do that. So I tried in a GNOME under base Ubuntu, and it's painful. It's actually really annoying to select a window. Because it goes through the window picker and then it doesn't do the audio at all. It's kind of annoying. And then I tried, I think I tried running it in a Bazzite, and it was a lot more fine in Bazzite. So, but I'll need to toy around with it a bit more. Because obviously, yeah, when things work in Windows and not in Linux, it's like, oh. For the most part, though, I don't write anything low level enough to really, like... And if anything as well, I don't use a lot of... Well, if I use things that are low level and they need, like, graphics drivers or low latency sound drivers, usually someone has done that, and it's just, you're just gonna make your program hook into it in the right way, and you're all good. Alright, this is more than 14.9. Okay, that's good. So, we did it! The chapter is complete. I can now continue on with the game. Hooray! I gotta get to 4,000, because I don't have the, oh, I do have the target. There you go. So, we're gonna get to 4,000 to continue on. It's gonna tell me I need another, 1,300. Let's keep going on here. That is a fun little noodle in the corner there. Let's see if we can do it in 21. I'm feeling 21. On to chapter 3. Exactly. We're making progress. I think the retro treatment set for this is fairly normal, although they do have certain challenges for certain events that you gotta go for. So most likely ones where I think you do have to perfect score every championship, which on the final ones is very rough.
Tokyo, San Francisco, all the world's great cities. Wherever you are on planet Earth, stay on the inside track.
Yeah, what a noodly little corner there.
And at roughguides.com.
Rough Guides.
Hey baby, I wanna show you something. I wanna show
Oh, this might be a bit tight for the time, yeah.
A bit of disco for you now. This one's from Otis Cook, recorded in 1982, and the track is called Come
This
On
doesn't
Baby.
even sound like an 82 song. It's... Whoops. Well, I'm ahead of... Yeah, I was like, I'm ahead of what I've just set, but I don't think I'm ahead enough. Oh, I am! There you go. Okay. Easy days. There we go. So, but in the wake of this, maybe the year of the Linux desktop is getting upon us, because the Steam survey show 3% of all users are running Linux, which is higher than it's ever been. Now, granted, Steam is not an unbiased source for, you know, like how many people are actually running certain operating systems, because if you counted every computer in the world, you'd probably find a lot more Linux out there because servers. Unless you're running Windows Server for some reason. And I still to this day, I don't know who would choose Windows Server over just, like, Debian. Well, if you really need to, Ubuntu, but, like, Debian. It's right there. It's open source, it's free, it's like, whatever. Just go for it. If you're a big company, please throw some funding towards, like, any open source project that you actually use in your workplace, please. Seriously. It was one I was seeing, CachyOS, that's the one. And it's got 2 major sponsors, but I'm like, only 2? You think there'd be more? There we go. Hot lap. The fastest of 5 laps. Okay, so same deal. Can we do it in 33? I'm feeling 33. See, it says weather, heavy rain, but like, I don't know. I look at what we're about to see, and it's like, this does not look like rain. This is just the mist of rain. It's kind of there, but not quite. Oh no, wait, no, that is rain. Hold on. Have I been misremembering about weather the whole time?
With Chris Turner.
Maybe I have. Maybe I have.
Planet Perfecto, bullet in the gun. Available now.
How does it feel that
Salford keys taken from their last album, and this
I'm
is
driving a
the
left-hand
track.
drive in London and Tokyo? I know, it's painful. It's almost the same circuit as that other one, but it's got this weird little notch. I guess that's every single track in this game. But also, yeah, Steam, naturally you're going to see a lot of, you're naturally going to see a lot of Linux users because Steam OS exists, and it is a sin, yes, true. You're naturally going to see a lot of Linux users because of Steam OS, because Valve themselves sell the Steam Deck, and will strongly encourage people to use the Steam Deck. But surprisingly, a lot of people are not running Steam OS. A lot of people are actually putting in the effort to install their own operating systems. Well, I mean, probably a lot of Steam Deck users are using Steam OS, but you've got ones like people using Bazite, people just using Ubuntu, CachyOS is popular. There's a lot of different Linux distros out there, and it doesn't particularly seem like there's any dominant one, other than, you know, maybe I guess the Steam OS, but I think they sort of said that like 27% of the Linux users are Steam Deck users, and that's actually quite a solid, it's a solid chunk, but it's, well, not quite Steam Deck, but also Lenovo Legion S Go. There's a specific one that Valve have officially certified, or at least written support for. So for me on my Zotac zone, I gotta use Bazite, so I'm in the Bazite banner. Oh, I gotta save another second on that. Oh, I'm bumping. I'm bumping. I think we'd have to give this another go at 34, I guess, then. Because you can't sweep this as quickly as I'd really want it to. It locks a bit too much there. Darn. But yeah, hopefully for a lot of games as well. It's actually kind of amazing. I have a mate who bought the Xbox Roggly, the X one, so with the Z2 Extreme. Yeah, I've just got to try this again at 34, because no way am I gonna, like, even if I beat that lap time, I'm not gonna be 33. Oh, I don't think that really saved time. Maybe it did. That was really fine though, I'll tell you that. But yeah, nah. Done.
Just a quick reminder that the new album from Kim Rogers has just been released under our own label, WC1 Productions.
Just got released. Just today. Just released. Wow. But yeah, no, I really like the Linux support. It's pretty solid. There are some games that you'll play and you'll just be like, yeah, no, it's not quite working out, but most of them work real fine. I think usually the ones that I don't find work are also ones that usually don't play nice on a handheld machine. So I think I tried Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, and that one just, it struggles. It's a struggle town. It doesn't like the FMVs for some reason.
99.5 West Central 1.
But also it's like none of the UI scales. So on a 7-inch screen, it's like, oh, like it's hard to really read it anyways.
TV screens, games, bars, and a great restaurant. The Sports Cafe, where the games never end. www.thesportscafe.com.
These URLs don't work, by the way. Don't try and check them up. They never existed. But yeah. So anyway, you got lost so many hours of Roller Coaster. Yeah, nah, I get that. One day I'll play it. But I did play Theme Park World, which is the sequel to the OG, I guess. I liked it. I don't know. I've got old stream VODs of that one. Alright, if I somehow get under 33 seconds, I'm just gonna be like, done. It does feel like a real tight time, 33 seconds though. So yeah, if I took that corner right, maybe that saved a bunch of time, but I don't think that would save. Well, that's okay, that's good enough for what I was doing, but still, wow. But yeah, so he got an Xbox Roggly X, and it's very surprising. So that machine, given that it's Xbox branded, they really wanted to tout how great Windows is, and it's probably got, you know, lots of things supported on the Xbox side. I'm not too sure if you get any of it for free. They keep saying it's like, oh, it is an Xbox, and I'm like, it's a PC. It's a handheld PC. Is it anything fancy? I don't know. But certainly, if it's got some first-party support, that might be nice. And we're trying to find, like, what's a game that, like, both of us own so we can benchmark it. And I keep asking him if he's got Dirt 3, because Dirt 3 is one of my favorite games to benchmark because it runs at absurd resolutions and absurd frame rates. And I don't know, it scales very, very well, so I like it. Because there's a point when, like, if your games don't run well on your system, there's no point benchmarking it and seeing 15 frames a second or less, because at that point it's like there's other stuff happening. There's other stuff that's like, this machine is too slow, and I'm not going to play it at 15 frames a second anyways. Not to say Dirt 3 is in a couple of years. Well, yeah, we could be. We could be. And it's going to be... I mean, I hope... I don't know how to feel about it, because I feel like when people say it's going to be like a PC, the main thing that I hear them say is that you can install anything on it. And to that I go, you can install anything on an Xbox One, technically. The developer license costs $20, which is kind of annoying that you have to buy that. But then you can install anything on your Xbox One. The catch is that building stuff for the Xbox One is not as one-to-one. It works on Windows, therefore it works on the Xbox One. You do still need to compile against an Xbox One library, and you do need to convert things in order to make it work. And that's where... See, there's enough sliding in this track that it actually works out. All the points come in. Yeah, you see that noodly chicane there. Let's go for 3 minutes. Oh, let's go for 3:04, just in case. Just in case. I don't think we've done any at the Fisherman's Wharf yet, so here we go, showing off yet another new environment. It keeps loading. Lovely crab.
Edge of the seat or
Phew.
what? I thought it was all over right up until the end of the fourth when they sneaked in the field goal. Awesome. Now this is a
They sneaked in the field goal.
And it's called California Demon.
Listen, if you name your band Zephyr... I swear. But yeah, you can install anything built for an Xbox, and you can compile stuff for an Xbox pretty, like, it's not too bad, it's not too hard. This is probably the roughest corner in the entire game, by the way. I'm sorry, but I needed to swing that corner. I mean, you gotta worry about these downhill ones, because also, yeah, there's all these obnoxious barriers everywhere. So you don't aim for the building, you gotta aim for like where the street curb sort of ends every time. But yeah, I do wonder what it will be like on that next Xbox with, I guess, being more like a PC, but I am very curious because I guess, yeah, if they say that, but like really it's just what they did with the Xbox One again. I think people might be hyping it up too much. So, proof is in the pudding. We will see when they release it, which will maybe be announced next year, but I probably would bet more 2027. It depends. And also, given current computer prices and AI stockpiles, I'm worried that if they do announce something now, it's not going to be a fun price, given that everything has gone up in price anyways. Yeah, exactly, yeah. We'll see when they reveal it. Seriously, everything is more expensive now. Computer memory is actually like 50% more expensive than it was like 6 weeks ago. And storage is going up. They're eating the storage, even hard drives. New hard drives. The only thing that's safe so far is X Enterprise flash memory. And even then, maybe not. But I keep eyeing a 61 terabyte SSD on eBay. And I'm like, they're still selling it for an alright price. Is it used? Yes, but it's also a 61 terabyte SSD. If you're worried about, like, you know, your SSD wearing out or having been worn out, the easiest way to circumvent it is to get a bigger drive. Gaming is not, no, it's not that cheap anymore, which is unfortunate because companies. Like, there was a weird news story, and I saw a correction, but I wasn't actually too sure what they meant. There was a story that AMD had announced that they were dropping driver or day one driver support for games on their RDNA 1 and RDNA 2 architectures. So you'd install graphics drivers, and there would no longer be like early day ones. There would be for game releases. It would be like security updates maybe. It naturally does happen. Every company is going to make that call at some point, but RDNA 2 is not that old. RDNA 2 came out, I think, in 2020. 2020 or 2021? Maybe 21, actually. No, it'd be 2020. Yeah, end of 2020. And so it's like, well, that's a bit less than 5 years if you bought it at the time. And if you didn't buy it at the time and you bought it, also I gotta scroll to 34, we'll go. So what is this? This is... Oh yeah, this is one where you have to beat it in a certain amount of time, but there's 2 races, so your time actually continues on. Yeah, they're forcing people to upgrade, I feel, because ultimately what's going to happen is that... And also, people always meme on the AMD fine wine, and this is reverse fine wine. This is going to be new games come out and graphics cards that people realistically have that are still good, by the way. The 6800 XT and even even the regular 6800 are really, really good cards. The 7800 XT matches the 6800 XT. They charge less for the 7800 XT, but also, yeah, the 6800 XT was remarkably amazing of a card. And I liked RDNA 2 as someone who sort of has always been a bit about AMD, where it's like, oh, you know, I like the 5700 XT, but I really wish they had something that competed against, you know, like the 2080. There was like, they had a card that was 2070 Ti or 2070 Super kind of level, but there wasn't anything better. And then they nailed it for RDNA 2. They basically hit every card from the 6600, which was great value, to the 6900 XT, which was great value, and also a 3090 competitor, which was like, oh, okay. And then RDNA 3 came out, and they didn't get there for the 4090, but the only card that beats the 4090 is the 5090. Not even the 5080 is anywhere near it. So, but I'm like, hey, you know, it was still alright. The only catch, I guess, with RDNA 3 is that the chiplet design didn't pay off. They had some very weird launch issues with those ones, and even the 7600 was a bit pricier than I'd like it to have been in Australia. It's normalizing out, so I'd still say it's more alright now, but it's not quite there yet. But still, it's like, well, a lot of people, and especially, also, yeah, the line is there. It's like, oh, okay. A lot of people would have bought RDNA 2 GPUs even well after RDNA 3 came out. Even, you can still buy some, even to this day. And it's going to be weird, like, buying one of these cards, and it's like, oh, and by the way, the driver support is just over. You just can't get a new one. Or, sorry, you can't get new drivers, which means that the games are not going to run as well as maybe they could. Maybe. It's a maybe. Sometimes the game-ready driver really doesn't actually need to exist. Sometimes the game just runs fine. But the other weird thing as well is, like, okay, so people were buying RDNA 2 graphics cards later, but, like, especially the refresh ones that came out late or mid-2022, I'm like, yeah, that kind of, like, that really missed me. If it's like, yeah, you bought a graphics card, and within the graphics card's warranty period, the company drops support for it. Because that's 3-year warranty. It gets one level even better. So I mentioned the Xbox Rogue. The Xbox Rogue comes in 2 versions. There's the Z2 Extreme version, and the Z2 Extreme version has RDNA 3.5 graphics. I was going to say 3.5. That's not how we name them. I gotta pick up the pace a little bit, don't I? Because I've got less than a minute a lap. Look at this! Oh! Who put that there? Oh, I think I'd be fine. I'm cutting it a bit thin, but I think I'll be fine at this rate. But the other Rogue, the non-X one, uses the Z2A chip that they've also just released. Like, literally just released. It's a new chip, and it uses RDNA 2 graphics. The non-X Xbox Rogue, according to this announcement, will not get graphics drivers updates. Why? Why? What? Excuse me? It's so odd. I'm like, no way. No way did AMD actually say that. I feel like they're bound to be, yeah, it's absurd. I feel like they're bound to be reversing course on this. I get why companies need to drop the graphics driver support. At some point, it's like, okay, well, you're supporting multiple architectures. It becomes harder and harder or at least, you know, within, I guess, the teams that you have. Although I would make the argument of AMD is not an underdog. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're not NVIDIA revenue, but they're not like the tiniest company in the world. They can hire a team to create graphics drivers for 4 architectures. Also, they dropped support for Vega ages ago, and there are people with iGPUs that still use Vega, like, to this day. Or just anyone who actually bought a Vega graphics card. There we go, plenty of time. I could have cut off another 12 seconds. It's always a bit worrying though, having to do one of these across multiple venues, and the time has to keep going, so you never really know if you're actually on point until the end. It's actually kind of mean. But unfortunately, the longer the race, the more things you're bumping as well, so... Now this one has a special. Oh, okay. No restriction. I just got to get 125. You must try to beat an average speed. Let's go for the 1111. Black Ops 3. Yeah. Meanwhile, for reference, NVIDIA dropped support for Pascal, like, last month. Pascal was for the GPUs that came out in 2016, 2017, and were only superseded by Turing from 2018. Also, Volta happened in the middle, and technically Volta... I don't think Volta ever gets game drivers, because it never really had a game graphics card, but still. This is a very narrow area. The NASCAR effect again was so back. There we go. But yeah, so I hope AMD reverses course on this, and or just literally hire more engineers. You're going to maintain, yeah, no, I guess the thing is that, like, again, bad manager optics. If a manager looks at it and goes, how many more people buy these old graphics cards when we, you know, keep creating drivers for them? And the short answer is, in the short term, none. Because who's going to be buying RDNA 2 these days? Probably no one. But the long answer is, how many people bought RDNA 2 expecting it to last, and how many people will buy RDNA 4 seeing what happened to RDNA 2? And I honestly think that is immediately an impact. Like, you will immediately see people. Yeah, they see who's buying and who... Yeah, exactly. Target not achieved. Sad days. I believe you can use the Joker to push yourself over, but... well, it's an even fight, so let's give him 1 second. But yeah, no, they see who's buying, and again, it's the cynical view of company goes for the profits and nothing else. And it's weird as well, because, like, I guess, like, someone might make the argument of a company that runs something as a loss leader or something like that, you know, oh, that's not in the interest of the investors, you're running something at a loss intentionally. But I'm like, you're massive companies, you... One, not only can afford to do stuff like this, but also you have the capacity to support things that won't necessarily make you money. One of the things that I always like vouch for is also, hi, the AI is cheating. He's in the same car as me, and yet he took off way better than I did. But like, companies have the capacity to contribute to open source projects very, 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 very easily. And I know lots of companies maintain their own open source projects, but what I mean is that, like, if you find a bug in curl, or probably more relevant, what was the one? Was it Xzip? Yeah, it was Xzip. And like, you remember that bug from I think it was 2 years ago, or rather a bug. It was like someone actually trying to sneak backdoor malware through XZ, and they had gotten very, very successful until someone noticed that their Postgres databases were slow. And they worked at Microsoft, and that guy is an absolute legend, and I hope he was paid like $5 million for finding that one, because he saved the world. That man saved the world. But like, yeah, like, hey, it would be nice if companies could, you know, put in the effort to sort of chuck some stuff into open source projects. Not to say that they don't, but it's just, I don't know. You gotta make an argument to like do that. It's like, you guys just gotta like do the betterment of the industry. You know, the industry is better when things are open source. Not to say everything needs to be open source, because obviously proprietary code spurs on innovation and competition and stuff like that. But there are also things like we don't need people reinventing curl. We don't need people reinventing, you know, fundamental programs like that. But yet, curl is maintained by, like, I don't know how much funding curl gets, but it's nowhere near as much as all these massive projects. I feel like the better I can drift, the more points I can start to rack up. I'm going aggressive. We're going first. I don't care that we're up against a... I guess a 4 or 6 is pretty okay, but... Yeah. Yeah, there's a... that's always a pain, I guess. Or alternatively, you could just fund things, you know. Non-profit status, you know, just literally, hey, we will pay a fund $100,000 a year. Too many rich people asking. Well, yeah. I'm a very libertarian guy when it comes to like stuff. So anytime we talk about, oh, you know, how do the rich get rich? I'm always like, well, you know, sometimes they deserve it or they made a company. But I'm also like, yeah, but at some point it's like, what did they do with it? And you know, there's always the IOU approach to wealth where it's like, where did this money even come from? Are people actually rich? Did anything happen? Is the world a better place? People forget that, like, you know, like, companies don't exist to make the world a better place, but, like, the reason why money exists is because the world can become a better place, is because we use it as a numerical way to represent, like, the improvement to the world. And it has to keep circulating in order to make that work. But it's like, yeah, like, we can't just, you know, pretend that that number actually means... Sorry. We can't just make the number go up and then pretend that the world is a better place. You can't exactly measure that. Obviously, you know, if, like, everyone was an artist in the world and no one had any money, I guess, like, you know, there'd still be something of value in there, even if, you know, everyone starves, you know, but, like, I don't know, there's something lost in translation, and I do worry about the world eventually. Yeah, how much money does one person really need? I am all for people who have lots of money to invest in silly projects that don't make money. So, you know, like, I guess people rip on Elon Musk, but also I remember John Carmack doing aerospace. And he had, like, I guess both of them have passions in that, but also, like, yeah, you know, like, space is not going to make money. No one is going to make money from space until we start colonizing other planets, and then whoever managed to actually make that happen is, like, going to be absolutely rolling in it. But I think, obviously, everyone knows you invest in aerospace to get, how do I put it, to get us closer to that goal. But we're not going to get there. Yeah, exactly. And I really appreciate it about the arts as well, when people fund the arts. And obviously the arts is not necessarily, you know, it might get commercial output. It might be nice. That's why, like, when EA is apparently getting acquired by an investment firm, I'm like, you know, at the end of the day, if EA can make games that, you know, sorry, if they can refine the process and make games that take big budgets actually meaningful, if they can actually turn that into something meaningful, then it might be neat that they don't have to make a profit if they're going to just get funding anyways and people are cool with it. I'm like, yeah, sure. Obviously, with a completely unbiased, you know, like, they should be able to make the art that they want to make. I don't want there to be a big firm basically pushing the needle on certain kinds of projects. But ultimately, it's like, hey, I would like for... Oh, exactly. And if anything as well, Valve is, you know, Valve has a product. It's a Golden Goose product. They make $1 bajillion off of... I was about to U-turn that one. Valve make $1 bajillion off of Steam, so therefore they can spend however much time and money they want on, you know, whatever games they want to make. I really wish they released maybe more stuff more often, or let people in on the loop a bit more. Because kind of they're a bit too small to announce anything right now. You know, they can show off Deadlock, but it's like... Yeah, this pleasure. Half-Life 3, yeah. There's always a rumor that Half-Life 3 is like nearly about to happen. I'm like, when? Because we were gonna get like a Half-Life expansion in 2006 by Raven Software. Was it by Raven? I think it was by Raven. And it's like, that is like a most of the way project that was done. I think they needed to, you know, spin up the art assets a bit more, but like they were mechanically and pretty solid there, and yet, nah, cancelled. Not gonna happen. And that was before Valve had silly money. They had a lot of money, but they didn't have silly money. Although if Valve keep maybe waiting. Oh, true. It's called Half-Life because you gotta wait half your life for it to come out, you know? This is Half-Life for a new audience, and we meant it literally. But yeah, I don't know. There's, rich people gotta have stuff to do with the money. I don't like the idea of like rich people. How do I put it? And honestly as well, like I'm not. How would I put it? I'm not a particularly loaded wealthy guy. I'm not a millionaire. There are I work in software. I have a comfy income, but I'm not a millionaire yet, and I don't own real estate. So that would be my other catch. Anyone who owns real estate is set. You are done. You've made it. If you own multiple real estates, hi. Maybe there'd be one for the rest of us, but yeah. If you own like one house, it's like, hey, you know, don't feel bad that you own one house. But yeah, it's like, man, I would like to own land, you know? How cool would that be? Something like that. Also, 4 laps. 4 laps. Always adds up the time. They're always right on your tail the entire race. I guess to circle back to this game, yeah, definitely the AI and the challenges are quite aggressive. You will get there eventually, and there's nothing other than the later championships that go on for too long. So like, if you goof something up, it's like, oh, that can really throw you off for the rest of it. Especially, yeah, the last few races are very, very tough because all the other cars are like this the entire time, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm very certain they all rubber band as well. But eventually you get into a zen rhythm, and you're swerving through the corners, and you've just got it in the bag. Like, you know what you're doing, or you keep bumping into walls like that, and you're like, okay. And it's I don't know, it's a great feeling once you're going at it. So I definitely recommend giving this one a go. I think it's a great experience, and these guys, you know, they're on the way up. The only thing I really wish for is if the driving model was a bit better, because, yeah, sometimes it just feels like the corners take a little bit too much to slow down for. Maybe it's a realism thing, but you can definitely swing every corner. I should have checked if, I think I have TCS turned on for the cars as well. So I'm curious how the game goes with it off. Is it easier? Is it harder? I'm not too sure. Yeah, lots of software today. Lots of talking about software stuff. I don't know. What's the plans for tomorrow, or rather, the rest of the week? Not too sure. We did experience some awful weather, both today. Rip anyone who got the hail today, and also we got some storms on Halloween. So unfortunately, I am binging on all the Halloween chocolate that I never gave to anyone because no one came.
Yeah,
Alas.
definitely one to watch there. That was California Demon from Zephyr. Hey, did
Zephyr.
you catch the game last night? Whew, edge of the seat or what? I thought it was all over right up until the end of the 4th.
Did you watch the game last night? Oh my goodness. So I guess we'll go until we get to the end of this chapter for the stream, which is still a bit away. Oh, maybe not too much away. Still, we got a championship, so... What are we up against? Again, another 206. So, look at this little bean-shaped land. It's very bean-shaped. But yeah, I can also show off in the time trial section. You can actually see all the different track layouts. I think you can see all of them. But pretty much, I mean, you unlock them all by just doing the events in the street race mode. So
You need a rough guide.
You need a rough
Tokyo,
guide.
San Francisco, all the world's great
you gotta
cities.
say it with your very London-esque
Stay on the
accent.
inside track with a rough guide from bookstores and at roughguides.com.
Legit though, the radio feature is fun and novel, and it's so fun, like showing off that, like, yeah, this is 2000. You know, like 2000 was a great year for games. Well, all the late 90s, early 2000s was like a real solid time for people just throwing mechanics that really work in games. Unshackled by the restrictions of resolution, of 3D output to a degree, and you know, even storage space, because this is I mean, this is on a GD-ROM. We had DVDs coming in very soon. I mean, the cars are good, you know, they're solid models. I think a lot of people can maybe say cars should be shinier. It's a very flat lighting model. But I'm like, there's a solid bit of detail for the resolution that the game outputs at. I like how I wasn't looking where I was going. I was looking at, like, I don't know why I was looking at the walls on the side. Alright, we're catching up. Or not. Wow, that 206 is gone. Oh, exactly. And yeah, remember, pre-GTA 3, although not pre-GTA, I guess. I got 2 more quarters to nail this guy on. Not done. Ah, pain and suffering right there. Oh, we'll give it another go. We'll give it another go. I mean, padding for content. Yeah. But yeah, and it's actually kind of fun as well, because I mentioned Gran Turismo, and obviously every car driving game is comparing itself to Gran Turismo right now. Gran Turismo 1, which came out in Japan 97, I think US 98, and then Gran Turismo 2 was out 99. So much money. And so everyone feels like they can compete with that. And Need for Speed was doing well, and there's other car driving games that also were doing really well at the time. Like, what's another one? Mario Kart's always a popular one. Mario Kart 64 was doing great. I know it's a different kind of game, but I'd still count it. Is there another one on the PlayStation? Ridge Racer was always popular. Bush. This reminds me of the song I just heard. Alright, gotta watch out for that one in the middle. But yeah, I'm amazed that this one, Wipeout was oh, true, Wipeout, yeah, Wipeout. Trying to think of some other ones. I know I've played Mega Race. Mega Race was not a popular one, despite them making 3 of them. Burnout was later, and honestly, Burnout 1 is a bit of a doozy of a game. Yeah, I don't know. There's lots of there's a solid spur of great selling car games, and yeah, this one I'm amazed didn't. I mean, I think it sold alright on the Dreamcast, but I think more people bought Sega GT. Destruction Derby, yeah. More people bought Sega GT, and after playing Sega GT, I'm like, oh, Sega GT's fine, but oh my goodness, the controls are just shocking on that one. But I like it. I like it. It's got all the pieces it needs. Also, having to do time challenges at the beginning is like very aggressive. I mean, I know Gran Turismo has the license tests, but having to do like very, like, imagine having to go for gold licenses all the time at the beginning of the game. So 125 points on the championship doesn't seem too bad, unless I'm up against some real, like, rough competition. We'll give it a go. We'll give it a go at 20. Tokyo. Let the games goes hard from the get-go. Yeah. Gran Turismo license tests are very much like a... Yeah, like, I'm trying to think. Gran Turismo license tests are always a very interesting way to start off the career, but... I mean, that's... And if anything as well, Gran Turismo 2 is always a weird game because it forces you into the career mode. Actually, does it? Yeah, it does. You have to do the license test in order to unlock the races in the arcade mode, which is very odd. Whereas Gran Turismo 1 and 3, it's like an actual arcade mode. Oh my goodness. Who would have thunk that arcade mode... Okay, word to the wise, slow down for that corner. Yeah, these islands are always what throws me off every time in this game. And unfortunately, since every single environment was ported into Project Gotham Racing 1, you gotta deal with it in that game every single time. But you do have a better resolution, and most likely you're not playing at nighttime all the time. So you see what I mean about like long laps? Sometimes they deck them out and you get to drive around the perimeter like this. And you gotta do this weird snaking here. Everyone likes a good old long lap time. Yeah, I think some cars do the drifts a lot better. I know, as well, Project Gotham Racing will actually tell you how many kudos you're earning. Because in this one, it's a bit of guesswork. But yeah, no, it's a solid game. And I definitely say it's maybe the best Dreamcast racing game, other than maybe Daytona 2001. Maybe. There's a lot of ones. Also, I guess Daytona. I forgot to mention Daytona. And never mind, you know, maybe Colin McRae Rally. I think that one was pretty popular as well, wasn't it? Or V Rally. That one's also big. But yeah, no, there's other driving games I would like to show off as well. But we'll get around to those maybe. Hydro Thunder. Ooh. I gotta check that out. I think I'd already shown off... not I think, I know. I showed off Vanishing Point as well years ago on this channel. I'm trying to think of like another older one that I had. I do remember Porsche racing, but maybe the less I speak about Porsche racing, the better. It's all a challenge of like feeding your lines, making sure that you don't tap the corners, and you start your turn early. Oh, so like that, like that. Oh, it's so over. It's so over. I really hope that they slow down because the guy in like 6th place is absolutely stuck there. Like he can't figure that out. But I think the catch-up is going to ruin me on this one. My memory is fonder than the game. Yeah, maybe. Sometimes nostalgia kicks in real hard. Oh, we're so back. We're so back. We're good. We're good. Are we going to lap this guy? Nah, he's picked up. He's figured it out. What was he stuck on? What was he stuck on? The one thing that you can't compete with Gran Turismo, and I think every car game needs to understand this fundamental. Gran Turismo was cool because replays. Because it looked like someone was watching a real race happening. And I know it was PlayStation 1. You have to add a bit of imagination in there. But it was like, yeah, no other game looked like Gran Turismo in its replays. So many other games, it was like bumper cam. Oh, yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then you'd save the replays and you'd view them back later. Like, how cool is that? Whoa. And so many games forget to do that nowadays. Like, why be cool when, you know, you gotta, you don't have any replays? Yeah, like, I don't know. It's a lost art. The car driving game is a lost art entirely because it's like, which ones exist anymore? We've got Forza. We don't have Project Cars. Oh my goodness. I shouldn't be holding down the right trigger. I should be half throttling on that one. Why yes, wheel spin is my friend. That's okay. We can claw this one back. Oh, but the rain. I think the rain is indeed throwing me off here, I'll tell ya. Must have been the rain. Now this one's a bit weird because of this, like, underpass at the end, so I'm going to be a little careful as we get over there, because there's a barrier right in the middle. It's so easy to turn into it. Oh, maybe it's not there. No, it is there. Yeah. You saw it. This is a real challenge, driving in the rain. I'm trying to spot this corner. Yeah, sometimes it's actually a lot easier to just change the clock to a time that's appropriate. I'm sort of winging this game by trying to play it at the real time. But yeah, no, the music's great. The presentation's pretty solid. I guess you don't earn cars quite as quickly as you maybe want to, like, but you get some cool ones at the end. Or it's gotta end in the skyline. That's like the car. But, I mean, it's got a solid roster as well. Yeah, maybe it's not too easy to hit the boundary on that one. I've been buying some retro stuff lately. Just playing House of the Dead 2. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Is House of the Dead 2, is that played with a light gun? Or is it just controller? I guess you can probably just use controller, but... I always wonder what you do about older peripherals like that. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Does it play nice with modern TVs, or you still have to use an older one? Oh, dang. Whoa. Whoa. Stop cheating, bro. That's some prime cheating right there. Don't worry, we'll get him. We'll get him. Oh, don't go too wide. There we go. I'll check your chat in a moment, sorry. This is the real serious hours right here. The sweaty palms. Make the last 10 minutes not in vain. We're good, we're good, we're good. Have to be, okay. Yeah. I'm always curious if there's like ways that we can make it work, for that kind of stuff, but I mean, the only other way I think you can make it work is by changing the controller effectively. So have the controller operate on a different method. Maybe like those camera-based ones, and then somehow get that connected in and working. They work in emulation, but probably lost it. Yeah, lost a bunch, which means even though we got the new chapter, I didn't get the challenge, so no reward there, unfortunately. But yeah, we've got at least a new car on the available, the Spider, feel like the Spider actually might be alright. We'll give it a challenge. Why not? Why not? Alpha Red. Pick a different red. Why would you pick a different red? It's Alpha Red. Obviously, you try out your Italian car in Tokyo. How many people in Tokyo had Alfa Romeos? I don't imagine they're the easiest to get over there, but maybe, who knows? Meanwhile, here in Australia, Alfa Romeo is actually kind of alright. They're kind of popular. Not tons popular, but a little bit. A little kind of. But everything in Australia is an SUV these days. It's absolutely, like, if you like small cars or convertibles or anything, nope, they're all SUVs. You see, yeah. This is a pretty aggressive time, is it not? Yeah. So you gotta really swing this corner here. There you go, like that. And there you go. You've got it smooth. Smooth corner. Bit of a tighter one, but you're good. Golden 29.76. Woo! Crushed it. And there we go. So yeah, no, everything's an SUV. I think they stopped doing the Impreza for a little bit as well. What's another one? I think the last of its kind is like the i30, the Hyundai i30. Because I don't even think Mazda... I think Mazda maybe still did the Mazda 2 or the Mazda 3. But like, that's it. And it's all SUVs. Suzuki, I still say, dream car, I would love a fun little Alto works. That feels like it'd be a fun zippy car. For not too much as well, but... yeah, the Suzuki only do SUVs here. Even electric vehicles, they're all SUVs. So anyway, let me show off. If you go to Time Attack, you can see it's like circuits available, record set, and you can see it's like if you add that up, that is what, like 262 layouts. And it's like, yeah, you know, like they're all. Well, you can't see the ones that we haven't done, but it's like I like how they've got you know, the map in the background, and that's kind of the layout it's on. And legit, most of these corners that fit on the map, most of these city blocks, are indeed, you know, they are indeed layouts there, which is actually very neat. I find this is cool. This part of San Francisco might be the most boring part, though. This is where all the hills were. But it's kind of fun. And you got, you know, all these different kind of layouts and where they divvy them up. And again, they had to put, as well, they had to put the effort to put, like, real boundaries and not just, like, floating arrows everywhere. I always find that's a bit, interesting that they've got that. So I like how this one, I'm pretty sure this was the, yeah, this was the last one we did, which snakes around there. Oh, it's good fun to have, like, you know, so many layouts. I don't think the Retro Achievements has leaderboards and everything, so... But, yeah, you can save them to your VMU, and then I believe, yeah, can you share them online? Yeah, you can share them online as well. So, you could launch the browser, I don't think it works. And if it does work, sweet. And having a quick race is also good fun, being able to set up opponents and be like, ah yes, challenge people in various different cars with different colors. And then you pick a circuit that you've got available. And, number of laps, why yes, 30. For some reason, I don't know. Also setting the time of day, so you can actually see what it looks like for San Francisco in the daytime. Let's just check that out for a hot moment. I don't know why it says no Joker. I think they've just reused the menu. We're not actually doing 30 laps, by the way, don't worry. Although it is a small track, it probably actually wouldn't take too long, but... Congrats! This is what San Francisco looks like in the daytime!
2, 1, go!
It's bright and well lit.
And this is newcomer Shanice Williams.
But it's kind of fun. You got these, like, shadows of the buildings coming over, and I think it does come over in the right direction, so that's fun. I've never been to San Francisco, though, so I can't tell you if this is realistic, but Project Gotham Racing 2 does have Sydney, and I can attest that is accurate Sydney. I remember as well, they've got one corner, which is basically like where the harbour bridge on the south side of the harbour, where it like connects down, and like you can see the overpass where the harbour bridge is, and there's this weird like triangular block where there's been a Domino's there for like at least like 15 years, but there's no Domino's in the game, of course. They can't have Domino's, so but it's kind of fun that like maybe they just modeled real streets. Ah yes, my 60-second head start. I need it just in case. You know, we could probably do 30 laps in 6 minutes at this rate, but I think we'll leave it there, so... yeah, other than that, I think that's a good showcase of this game, so... With that, I would like to thank you so very much... Oop, that didn't scroll right. Hold on. Scroll it one more time. Do the scroll right. There you go. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the stream, I'll be back at it again, maybe with a different game. We'll see. 8:30 p.m. 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, and just on Monday. It's just a Monday thing. Yeah, if you missed parts of this or parts of any other VOD, they're all on YouTube. So check them out. And yeah, if you tuned in recently, then yeah, no, thanks for coming along, hanging out. If you want to see me say funny things about stuff, things about the news. I also sometimes ramble on my my Fediverse instance at m.biendeo.com. There's always links everywhere, you'll find it. So that's all good fun. And yeah, also judge me on GitHub, I guess. You can judge me on GitHub. Review my pull requests if you want to. But yeah, other than that, stay safe, eat your greens, don't stay up too late, and drive on the right side of the road. Drive responsibly. So, anyways, have a good one. Peace.